Good morning, everyone. Just from my own personal perspective, thank you so much for being here. We're really honored to have you and excited. My name is Herberich, and I've had the pleasure of working with Sam for several years now in the MCN. And it's my distinct honor and pleasure this morning to have the chance to introduce real kindred spirits. Bob, Maginn, and John Beahm from the Jenzabar Foundation have worked with the MCN for several years now. They have been incredibly generous to us. This is an organization that gets it. They have put an incredible amount of resources into student organizing all over the country. They've invested their time, their resources, you name it. This is an organization that gets it. So it's my pleasure this morning to introduce our 2011 Partner of the Year, the Jenzabar Foundation.
Afraid it's going to fall and break, but we'll put it right here. Well, thank you all for being here today. It's wonderful to be part of this organization, the Millennium Campus Network, and Will, thank you for those kind words. I want to talk with you a little bit about each of you and your own story by sharing briefly three stories about people that have stepped out to try to make a difference. And the first starts with Sam, of course, who organized all of us here. Sam, as many of you know, in 2008, when he graduated from Brandeis, wanted to continue the work he had started there, the Millennium Campus Network. And he was looking for someone to help in that effort. And he took the chance. Instead of taking a job, which he could have gotten a very nice one out of Brandeis, a paying job, that is, he set out to find an organization that would back him. And on a cold call, through the help of John Beahm, he was able to find the Jenzabar Foundation and came in to see us. And that began our partnership. Now, what attracted myself, in particular, so much to what Sam was doing? Well, that story goes back to when I was a student. At Michigan State, I was looking at the situation decades ago, I won't tell you how long ago, when the children in Calcutta were starving to death, and they needed help. And it was breaking my heart. So I organized for the 30 members of my Bible study that we would fast on Wednesdays and give the money. We actually didn't need the extra weight either, but give the money to an organization that was working with the orphans and the children in Calcutta. And it was literally the same then as it is today. For one day of fasting and the amount of money that we would have spent that day buying our food, we were able to feed a child for an entire week and actually help them go to school. And that started for me a decades-long commitment to trying to make a difference. I was blessed to be able to get into the Jenzabar company through my wife, whose story I'll tell you in a moment. I was at Bain & Company, and she started this, and I left Bain after many years to join her and try to make a difference in the software business for colleges and universities. And after about 5 years or so, our company became quite successful, and we were making a lot of money. And one night down on Cape Cod, on a beach after a bonfire, I was sitting alone listening to my iPod to a song by Madonna, and there's a line in the song that says, "Everyone must stand alone." And I'm sitting there looking up at the beautiful stars in the heaven and think, everyone must stand alone. Everyone must be individually accountable for what their life is and what difference their life is going to make. And it just hit me that, I'm going to go back to work tomorrow on Monday, and I'm going to try to convince our board to give 10%, which is the maximum the IRS will allow, of our profits into a foundation that is going to work with students like my wife, who is also a student leader, and myself, who are trying to make a difference in the world. And we were able to bring our board along, and so we've given out now hundreds of grants to student organizations all over the country, around the world, who are making a difference. We'll be giving out some more today. So Sam's story intersects with my story. My story intersects with my wife's story, and I found a soulmate who also was out to change the world. She came from the completely other end of the world. She's Chinese, and her name is Chai Ling, or Ling, and she was the leader of the Tiananmen Square movement back in 1989, trying to change China. And she's gone on to do that through the work in our foundation and through her All Girls Aloud effort, and appreciate many of you in this room that are helping in that. So here are three people who all as students, like yourselves, said, you know, we're going to make a difference in the world. The talk by Senator Kerry last night reminded me that even in his generation, he got involved in Earth Day and other things. It was students who sparked the change, who made the governments, the people, the businesses, the philanthropists take notice of what they were doing and what was going to happen if we didn't make changes in the way that things were operating. So I believe in people power, and you are all people power, and my hope is that you will be inspired to make the kind of difference that I know every one of you can make. And I just appreciate your being here, and I appreciate the recognition of our organization as a Partner of the Year with the Millennium Campus Network. Thank you. So, my wife is speaking at another conference in Florida this weekend, so she couldn't be here, but she wanted to share a video message with all of you. So please take 1 minute to listen to a short video from my wife, Ling.
Hi, MCN student leaders. How are you? I'm hearing that you are having a great weekend. Congratulations. I'm so sorry that I'm not able to be there for you. I have a previous commitment here, but I wish you all the best and for a great conference for the rest of the weekend. As a former student leader, I commend you for all the amazing work you're doing to transform the world for a better place. Thank you for every one of your commitment, your hard work, and your sacrifices. As a gift from us to you, we're sending you a copy of a memoir I'm able to complete recently about my own journey of growing up from China and leading the Tiananmen Revolution, and ultimately came to America and finding the true freedom. I hope this book will be a blessing and encouragement to you, and we look forward to hearing from you for your future stories and for your great accomplishment. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now it's my honor to recognize first John Beahm, who will come up and do this with me, but to recognize three extraordinary student organizations and student leaders who are indeed stepping forward to make a big difference in this world. Thank you. John.
Thanks very much, and good morning. So actually use this, although I don't think I need it. First, just to follow up on Ling's message, our books are actually available in the lobby. Each one of you was given a card, and we'd very much appreciate if you filled that card out and dropped it in one of the boxes that are out there as well as you pick up your book. In the unlikely event that we did not bring enough books, if you would be so kind as to jot your snail mail address on the back of that card, anybody who is not able to receive a book today will have one sent to them. Now, in addition to our partnership with MCN, we have established a signature program for us called the Student Leadership Awards. And we have just completed our 4th cycle of Student Leadership Awards, each year giving away 10 $5,000 grants to student organizations around the country across a variety of disciplines and modes of service. We gave out a few of those earlier this summer at Jenzabar's annual meeting, but it seemed very appropriate, given the nature of who we're going to be recognizing today, that we offer, or that we give some of our awards at this venue as well. One of the things that we noticed over the past 4 years of doing this were certain national organizations were highly represented in the pool of nominations that we received each year. And this year we decided to do something a little bit differently in recognizing the national organizations on behalf of those chapters that have submitted student leadership awards. 2 of them are very highly engaged already with the MCN. One of them has actually emerged out of our host this weekend, Harvard. So, with no more further ado, I would like to introduce our first national organization and the Student Leadership Awards submitted on behalf of Colorado Boulder, Loyola, and Columbia University, GlobeMed. And accepting on behalf of GlobeMed is Maya Cohen, their executive director, and we also have 2 chapter representatives as well. Come on up to the stage, please.
Hi everyone, how you doing? Good. First of all, huge thank you to Jenzabar, to John, to Bob. We are incredibly honored to be standing up in front of you. We're inspired and awed by everything that you're doing and by all of the support and dedication that Jenzabar has given to us. GlobeMed was started through a very simple belief that all people are people and that all people deserve the right to health. Students, just like yourselves, sat back and said, why is it that I'm able to live a healthy life, and yet people my exact same age around the world are dying from preventable diseases, that people are losing their mothers, their fathers, their sisters, their brothers, to things that we know the solutions to. They looked around the world and said, it doesn't have to be this way, and yet it is. And as their true values do, as true values are wont to do, this belief drove them to the sense that they absolutely had to do something. And yet, they were oozing out of their ears with resources. They saw that there were past historical movements of students, from the civil rights movement to the environmental movement, that had been able to make enormous change, but they wanted to do things a little bit differently. They knew that many people were trying to make change, and yet they had a sense that we could actually do this better if we found a way to work together. And this foundational question of MCC, the thing that brings us all here today, is how can we work together to make change better, to really enact the vision that we all have. And so they looked around the world, and what they realized is that there were community leaders in poor communities around the world who were already on their way to fighting to realize the health of their communities. They were fighting day in and day out for the lives of the community members that they were representing. And the students said, what would happen if we connected the passion, the resources, the energy of our students with these community leaders around the world? What change could we make? And so they started an experiment. They started connecting students across the United States with community leaders in South America, in Africa, in Asia, and in the United States. And what they saw was an absolute tremendous amount of change. GlobeMed has been able to renovate clinics in post-genocide Rwanda. Students have been able to provide HIV testing, prevention, and education to 1,000 people in Gulu, Uganda. Working in partnership, they've been able to train hundreds of community health workers around the world and to renovate sanitation and hygiene systems from rural Nepal to southern Africa. They realized that by partnership was the key to this success. And all of this has been possible because of student leaders who really embody 3 core values. The first is that they're driven by their beliefs. I think that a belief is not something that one chooses, but a realization that one comes to that drives people to action. Value isn't a value unless it inspires you to do something, and our students are driven by the value that health is a human right. If you ask our students all the way from the national office down to your first freshman general member, this is something that they're able to articulate. The second piece is that they're profoundly humble. Our students understand that it's not about them individually, but about the power of we, and about what we can accomplish together, both as students and as people across the world who believe that health is a human right. And lastly, they're dedicated to real leadership. they understand that it's not enough just to care, it's not enough to have an interest or a passion, that they actually have to do something. And so our student leaders are also people who have walked the walk and talked the talk. And I've got two of these student leaders up here with me today. So Gerald from Loyola and Karina from Columbia University. Unfortunately, someone from CU Boulder wasn't able to make it, but students like these have been transforming the health of hundreds of communities around the world and impacting thousands and thousands of lives. So thank you so much to Jenzabar. Thank you to all of you, and I hope you've had an amazing weekend, and let's keep changing the world.
The next group we'd like to recognize is one that is actually just around the corner from where we are right now. But this year we received 5 Student Leadership Award nominations from organizations affiliated with Harvard. And Harvard actually has a very unique model in terms of how student groups are organized and function on campus. So it is our great pleasure to award Student Leadership Award to the Phillips Brooks House Association on behalf of those 5 student groups. We have a number of representatives. Why don't you all come up on stage? And accepting on behalf of the organization is Ekene, the student president of the Phillips Brooks House Association.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, my name is Ekene. I am the president of the Phillips Brooks House Association, and I am more than excited to be here receiving this award on behalf of the Phillips Brooks House Association. The programs that are involved here are the Housing Opportunities Program, the Summer Urban Program, the Leadership Institute of Harvard College, and the Harvard Project for Sustainable Development. So I was asked to talk a little bit about our model and what is really great about PBHA. And I don't even know how to make that into 4 minutes, but we will try, definitely. So the Phillips Brooks House Association is a student-led nonprofit. Yes, student-led, I know. It's really, really intense, and it's really amazing. I think that our mission of student leadership and community partnership is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And I think that that is something that is not stressed enough. So in our organization, what does this look like? We have 85 programs, ranging from Harvard programming for the homeless shelter to academic programs throughout Boston and Cambridge, from Roxbury to Dorchester to the Mission Hill. We're about being very community-based. And so we have 85 programs that do these amazing things. They have student leaders called directors that make up our cabinet. And the cabinet is the governing body of our organization. So we're very much about student leadership actually running what happens in this organization. The cabinet elects officers, that's 20 officers, myself included, that run the nonprofit arm. So from budgeting, yes, we actually work to make our own budget of like a multi-million-dollar budget. And we work with staff people who amazingly support us in our development to make sure that we're actually doing service that really matters and is really about the communities that we serve. And then 11 of the officers are part of our board of trustees. There are 21 members, 10 of them being non-student board members. So that's what we look like. And it's not a huge hierarchy. It's a lot of input from different organizations, or for different structures, and we don't make any decision by ourselves, and that's beautiful. Now, what does this actually mean? What do we do? So organizations like Housing Opportunities Program provides loans for low-income families to ensure their security in housing. Summer Urban Program does things with academic enrichment during the summers when summer learning loss is really high for low-income students. And it's amazing how much effort the people put in. You can imagine yourself with, it says 40 hours a week on your time card, but it's actually like 60 when you really put into numbers, and it's ridiculous the amount of service that people do. But the biggest thing about PBHA is learning that service is not just this whole thing of like, I give to you because I have more resources. It's really about learning that we are in this together, and that service is not this selfless thing. You get as much in as you put out, and I think that it's amazing, and I'm going to stop using the word amazing very soon, I promise, but I think I'm just in awe of a lot of the things that these the students do, including myself. I think that we have a unique model in the sense that we really, really, really are advocates for change by working with communities, not for communities, not in communities, but really in partnership with. And you can go to Dorchester, you can go to Roxbury, you can go to Mission Hill, and you can find out that we actually really do partner. We have parents who tell us what they want to see in program, and we make changes that make sense. We have trainings that make sure that people aren't going out there doing some real crazy things with people's families. That's inappropriate. And we think that what we're really about is making sure that these changes are empowering, that when we leave, that the people that we serve and we work with have a way of continuing on, whether they're running the program themselves, like in our summer urban program, campers become junior counselors, become senior counselors, become directors, and that's what we're really about. So as we're thinking about service in a global context, poverty is right next door to a lot of us. They're in our backyard. And when you think about where to start, you don't have to go hugely far to know that there's a lot of people in need. And whether you choose to go further from here to South Africa, to Brazil, or wherever you choose to go, it's very important that you know where your home is and you know how to serve them as well. So we want to thank everyone for being so committed to service in the way that a lot of us at PBHA are. And we want to thank the Jenzabar Foundation for being committed to us as well. Thank you.
Third organization that we'd like to recognize had 5 chapters who submitted Student Leadership Award nominations this year. And in fact, I think every single year that we've run the awards, we've received at least one nomination from a chapter for this organization. And the quality of these nominations has been extraordinary. So it is our pleasure to recognize Engineers Without Borders with our Student Leadership Award. Accepting on behalf of Engineers Without Borders is their National Executive Director, Kathy Leslie. And in a bit of a spontaneous moment, if we could have any representatives from any Engineers Without Borders chapter who is here today, please stand for another round of applause.
Well, I feel a little old compared to the other 2 award winners, and I'd like to thank the Jenzabar Foundation for honoring Engineers Without Borders, GlobeMed, and the Phillips House in this recognition. You know, EWB USA is a young organization. We hit 10 years this year. And with over 12,000 members working on 350 projects in 45 developing countries, we've changed the lives of millions of people in the past 10 years. We work to ensure that the communities we serve have the capacity to sustainably meet their basic human needs, and that our members have enriched global perspectives through our EWB program. Our membership consists of professionals and students from a variety of professions, including engineering, public health, anthropology, and business. We're passionate people. We have 250 dedicated chapters, with over 180 of those on university campuses across the U.S. We join 30 other Engineers Without Borders organizations who exist globally to do the work that we do. We support community-driven development programs worldwide by collaboration with local partners to design and implement sustainable engineering projects. At its core, our model is rooted in practical engineering solutions at the grassroots level. However, in order to be successful, our designers have to consider the social, the cultural, and the contextual situations in which they find themselves. They have to consider community input, community's ability to own and maintain these systems for the long haul. We train local community members, we train local schools. And it's these partnerships which form the basis of a long-term relationship to ensure that the basic infrastructure stays in operation after we leave. So in Uganda, the village of Mbali has one polluted source of water for their entire community, of which half is children. EWB USA Tufts is working with their NGO to provide a sustainable solution through the construction of water storage and water filtration systems. In El Salvador, the community members of La Ceiba currently drink contaminated water from hand-dug wells in a local river. The poor water quality has caused death and illness. EWB Rowan is implementing a series of biosand filters to clean the water so that some of these illnesses and deaths can be prevented. And in Guatemala, forced to relocate after Hurricane Mitch wiped them out in 1998, a community didn't have a reliable source of water, especially in the rainy season. So that community has to rely on a local well and gravity-fed springs, which provide water for no more than 2 hours a day. EWB Rutgers is working with the community to develop pumps and pipelines which will provide sufficient and clean water to those communities. So it's these dedicated students, a lot of which were in this audience, and others working through EWB who are affecting change in the lives of many who live on less than $2 a day. So our challenge is the ever-changing social, political, and economic landscapes both here and abroad. These issues affect all of our work, but we're the right people at the right time looking at the right issues. This isn't easy work, but we have the passion to make a difference through service, we have the sense of responsibility to do the right thing, and we have the knowledge to act, and we have the courage to make it a reality. So I'd like to thank all of you. You're the inspiration for the next generation. Make sure what you do matters. So thank you to the Jenzabar Foundation for honoring us, and thank you for allowing me to be part of your conference.
Amazing, just amazing. And I know that there are other amazing stories in this audience. And in a moment, John Beahm is going to come up and explain how somebody in this audience will, we hope, be up here with us next year. We're going to give one of the organizations represented in the audience today one of these $5,000 Student Leadership Awards. And I hope it'll be you and your organization. And so John will explain how that will be done. I also want to let you know, as our friends, that my wife Ling has decided to donate all of the royalties that she's getting from her book to the foundation to try to save more lives around the world. So every 1,000 books that get sold will ensure one more Student Leadership Award. So we hope that, we're giving you all a free copy of the book, but we do hope that you'll Facebook it and blog it and tweet it so that more people will buy it. It officially launches the week of October 3rd. It's available for order now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all over the web. It'll be in all 600 Barnes & Noble stores on the front table starting October 4th. And we hope that this book will both inspire people, but we also hope that lives will be saved through the royalties that will come from it. So thank you for helping in that. And now John Beahm will tell you how we hope to invite one of the people in this room up to the stage next year to join us for the Student Leadership Awards. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob. The last 4 years, we've run our Student Leadership Awards on a spring cycle, that is, asking for nominations to come in during the February-March timeframe. This year, we've decided to switch things up a little bit based on feedback from those who have engaged with us. And in fact, the 5th cycle for the Student Leadership Awards will be opening in a few days. And MCN has been kind enough to agree to send out an email to all of you letting you know that nominations will be open. The way that you submit a Student Leadership Award to the Jenzabar Foundation is through an online process. We ask that you register online, and then you are given access to a special page on our website that describes how it is that you can submit a Student Leadership Award, the criteria that we look at when we judge the Student Leadership Awards. So, in order to fulfill what Bob has just mentioned, we have a reference code section when folks register on our website. If you enter in that reference code section MCCSEPT18, we will know that you are here today, and we will pick one from that group to receive one of our 2012 Student Leadership Awards. That information will not be disseminated beyond this room, so hopefully you all have a pen or a way to text or something so that you can remind yourself of that code, MCCSEPT18, MCC September 18. And again, we would like to thank you very much for all the work that you're doing, and we look forward to learning more about it through your nominations for a Student Leadership Award. Thank you.